All right, Shalom. First, I'd like to start by saying all praise to Yahweh Shema Shai, double honor to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Now, this lesson basically is on, current events, in particular, what's going on with the refugee situation or the so-called Great Migration that's going on in the Middle East because of the wars and stuff that's kicking off. All the people over there being persecuted, having to leave from their natural way of life because of basically it's because of biblical prophecy. But as if you've been paying attention, you see the wars and stuff kicking off. That's the prophecy. But I'm gonna start this scripture. This is Luke chapter 21, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity. What do you think them signs in the sun and the moon are? Represent the returning of Yahweh Shai. But before that happens, Yahweh Shai said he was going to show us. Before that happens, there's got to be events to occur, like what's going on in the Middle East with this great migration. It says, distress of nations with perplexity. Right, the wars that kicked off, the wars kicked off. The famines going on in the regions. So the people had to either migrate. Most of them migrated, and most of them became refugees. On the same token, it says, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear. Right, and you got people that's catching heart attacks because of what's actually going on. Because them people are not eating. They're dying. They're the women being raped, the men being raped. Um, they're drowning because they trying to migrate from one place to another. Some of them have to cross seas to get to where they're going and shit. But ultimately, that's what the fuck they get is because um, a lot of them nations came up against Israel. A lot of them nations, yeah, came up against Israel, man. It says, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Right, right. So, all right, here goes the next scripture. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 50. Oops, chapter 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the later time, which we live in the later time, the end of the world, or the end of Esau's kingdom per se, shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride. Right. These nations walked in great pride. These people walked in great pride with all the witchcraft, the um, the philosophies that they believe in, uh, from taking us down as a nation, Israel's down as a nation, and giving all our heritage and all our custom to the nations and shit. This is why this is going on. So what's going on is basically they have to repay us back, and this is how the Lord getting back at them. This is one of the beginning stages to how Yahushua is getting back at them. It says, "But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee." Right, exactly. It says, "For unto you is paradise open, the kingdom of heaven. The tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenteous is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom." Right, and the Lord building up his tabernacle, the tabernacle of David, for us to get ready for our deliverance. All right, this is the next scripture. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself." So you got to be hard working to measure this time that's going on, man. This refugee crisis that's been going on for a couple years, man, since these wars kicked off, man. But not only is that going on, you got the race riots in certain countries going on. You got these wars. You got Jake being gunned down in America on, a grand scale now. You got the what do you call it? The austerity measures then kicked in. People are starving. People are going homeless. It's a lot of stuff going on in the time that we live in, man. It says, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, right? And those are the signs. Believe it or not, you got Israelites that's among them so-called migrations or them refugees, man. You got a lot of Israelites that's up in the nations that's worshiping them idols, and the Lord jacking them up for it, man. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, right? And you see that happening. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, and earthquakes happen all the time, and uproars of the people in the world, right? These people that's rising up against their governments, and the government is actually taking up arms, killing these people. You just got to pay attention to the news. The governments in the Middle East are actually gunning how do you call it, the people that's coming up against their governments. And it's soon to come to America. It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, right? Even from the beginning, right? So this was spoken of in the beginning, man. For like as all that is made in the world hath the beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, right? This is the end. This is the end of the societies of these nations, from Moab, which is the Chinese, to Esau, which is the white man, so on and so forth. It's the end of their kingdoms and the beginning of Yahweh's kingdom. It says, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works, by doing the truth, going down the highways and byways, putting up the videos, and by faith, right? Because you got to have faith also, for Nate Satan, whereby ye have believed, right? So you got to believe that this, this is the truth, and Yahushua is on his way back, man. And how do you show you believe? It's through your works. So, but yeah, I don't want to drag the lesson out too long. You see, I'm gonna put up a video, and it's gonna show, the refugee crisis going on, all the kids dying, the women, et cetera, et cetera. And this is happening all over in the Middle East, and it's actually soon to come to America. It's not gonna be like no migrations, but actually a lot of nations are leaving America as we speak. But it's gonna be to that extent to where there's gonna be lots of people dying, a lot of people starving, and because of the chaos that's going to be going on in America. But that's it for the lesson. Shalom.
The number of people displaced by conflict worldwide stands at 65 million, according to a new World Bank report. The study, produced together with the UN Refugee Agency, said 10 conflicts are responsible for the majority of forced displacement of people. The 65 million figure is equivalent to the population of the United Kingdom. Xavier de Victor from the World Bank says this poses a real development challenge. Being a refugee for 2 or 3 years poses a certain number of problems. Being a refugee for 30 years raises others in terms of education for children, in terms of dependence, or the ability to live life normally again. The outlook is very different. And we see increasingly that there are people who live in places where it's almost impossible to get a job, either because it's legally impossible to do so owing to their refugee status, or simply because they live in countries or areas of these countries where it's very difficult to find jobs.